Don't be an overachiever.
All
All right, now we're live.
righty.
Is this going to make a difference? Nope, maybe.
Da,
Yeah.
da, da, da,
I don't know if anyone's online to watch
Oh, well.
or chat,
Oh, well.
but whatever.
You know what? If there was.
That's it. That's right. Yes, I am live on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube. So what are you working on there?
This is a brand new piece. It's a commission. It's going to be a full color Yvonne Craig background.
Cool. Is this still your backlog? Or not really
No,
backlog?
no. This is an impending backlog. This is new pieces that I just got a bunch of orders this weekend.
Oh, okay.
We did a live sale out in Illinois, actually in Warner's hometown, and I got to see Warner this weekend.
Oh, how is little Warner?
Oh, he's good. He's good.
Well,
He and the family seem to be doing pretty well. Their new kitchen is stunning, absolutely stunning.
is it though?
Yeah, it's real nice. Yeah, I was stunned. Literally, I just kind of fell to the floor. Couldn't feel my arms and legs.
Are you sure it doesn't have a gas leak?
Well, I'm about to say that. You know, that's kind of rude.
He's tied up with other stuff, so he couldn't hop on.
Yeah, bummer.
He does his usual Wednesday stream to one of the marble groups, but not today.
Oh, yeah, the card group, right?
Yeah, the card groups.
Well, thank you for having me on tonight.
Oh, my pleasure. I remember you said last time if I ever do this not on Friday.
Well, I could do it Friday too. Just had a little warning, but this is really good. Actually, he's kind of saved me from stress tonight. I was when you messaged me, I was on hold with Macy's credit department, just trying to get switched over to paper statements because their online presence is a nightmare. And I can't really view my statements without I don't know, kind of like, you know, doing some sort of Mission Impossible hacking thing and logging into, you know, everything and turning over every bit of personal information, it seems. I just got frustrated and said, look, I just want to switch over. And this is after I'd been on hold for about 20 minutes, and the guy says, "Oh, I'll put you in touch with customer service or technical support because we can't do anything here." Click right back on hold again. and I'm listening to the hold music, which I got to comment on was hysterical. They were playing like these old classic tunes, lots of old Fleetwood Mac and Howard Jones and things, but it kept fading out. And like there was some sort of a glitch or something, so it would like go off into this like faded echo, and it almost sounded like satanic chanting, you know. So you got like, you know, Stevie Nicks singing "Landslide," and all of a sudden it kind of goes off, and you hear this. It sounds like, "Oh, hail to the Dark Lord! Oh.
Come to Macy's.
Give your soul to." I'm thinking, what is, you know, I started thinking, it's like, is the channel just like bleeding into, you know, is the music channel just bleeding from like the urban contemporary to like, you know, the Celtic Frost or the Cradle of Filth channel, you know?
There's something on the radio the other day. They were talking about the best hold music.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the examples they gave is just a series of clicks, which is meant to keep you calm, and it's just silence. It's like click, 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 click. Like it's not really a rhythm or a beat or anything. It's just clicks.
Just random noise. I'm thinking that would probably send me into a freaking anxiety attack.
Yeah. What's with all the clicking?
It's so random. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, how would they think that worked? Did somebody like do a survey on this? Or
It's got to be like the psychology of customer service, right?
I guess. I'm pretty damn sure though. If I just went up to somebody and went click, 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 yeah, that this would not calm them.
No. Hey, Gordon.
Hey, there's the
Gordon.
man.
Gordon says hi.
Hey.
He's still at work. Otherwise, he would have joined too.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Let's get some paint.
Did I tell you about the crazy thing I was working on with one of Gordon's pieces?
No.
He probably saw he posts a lot of preliminaries.
He does a lot of sketches, yeah.
Yeah, and his sketches are awesome. I really, really like them. And he has a mechanical skill that's a little bit I think much more classical than mine. I'm a little more random and I use an awful lot. I'll just say it, I like box a lot. But he I just love the way he sets stuff up, and I just keep doing these sketch drills over and over and over again. And I just looked at that and went, wait a minute. So I took a couple of his pieces, his preliminaries, and I printed them out. And I just kind of like looked at these random sketches. There was like 3 or 4 figures kind of all together. And it was great the way he set them up because they were all sort of in proportion. And I just sat down and redrew them. It was.
Where is it? Do you have it?
I do. I don't know how I'd show it now. I could send it over to you tonight though after we get off of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like he sent these prelims, or he had these prelims posted, and I just took them and like turned it into it was like a squad of these Amazon warriors, because he had like these 3 female reference pieces, or not reference pieces, prelims going on. And it was like just women in different action poses, but they were all sort of standing in the same direction and sort of in this in a relatable proportion. So I turned him into like this squad of Amazons with a little background on it and everything.
Did you see it?
Yeah, he liked it. I got excited. I was just like, you got to do more of this. and he's just like, what? How? What? Yeah. And I kind of feel bad because I'm like, really what it comes down to is I'm exploiting Gordon to do like the legwork and the preliminary sketches.
Here, you do my layout and then I'll put it together.
Yeah, you do the layout and I'll do the fun stuff. You do all the hard work. No, I don't feel guilty of that at all. Actually.
No, Gordon's great.
He is a good guy. I wouldn't have pulled it off if it wasn't. If he wasn't. I like him. We had fun talking to him. He's a good dude.
Can never get him on the stream, but he's a good guy.
He had him there for a while. He was on quite a bit, wasn't
he? Yeah, it's just scheduling, right?
Gotcha.
Let's see, maybe he'll hop on Friday if he's around, and if I have time.
Yeah, I might be able to also if you're doing it though. I'll let you know Friday afternoon. I'll shoot you a message on Facebook.
Yeah, let me know.
And let you know how things are looking, because I really don't have anything planned other than just the stuff that I got to do now. The commission work and things.
Yeah, it's like as long as work schedule allows me, I'll do it. I mean, like, it's great if if the peoples are watching. But I mean, if I'm painting, I don't mind. I'll just go live, and if anyone's there, it's there. If not, then keeps me from like starting to surf YouTube or something and get distracted.
I got you. Yeah, these do help you stay productive. I noticed that. It was like the last time when I was doing that one with you and Warner, like, man, I looked at I got a lot of stuff done in 2 hours.
Yeah, because what else are you going to do, right?
Yeah. But I think you're right. It's like there's no, work for 20 minutes and check Facebook, work for 20 minutes, check Instagram, work for 20 minutes, check YouTube. It's none of that shit.
At least it's kind of, okay, well. don't want to show everyone what I'm surfing for, so let's just stay on task. Just how you sent Clan McDonald some pizza.
Yeah. We had a good weekend.
Where's my pie? I'm looking, I'm like, man, I want pizza.
You know what? Christmas is coming up, and we do gift packs like that stuff. Michelle and I send stuff out to people like that all the time. Give me your address.
You're gonna send pizza to Canada.
Why not? Why not?
You can get a call from customs.
Oh, bullshit! I'll call up someplace in Ontario. Screw customs, man. I'm done. I'm done with your nation's customs. All right.
Sir, this there's a package in your name. Feels warm. Pretty sure that's not Canadian bacon there.
These are some contraband toppings here, pal.
Yeah. And I think last time we were chatting, I said we were making homemade calzones.
Oh man.
Oh, if you have a deep fryer.
No, but it's starting to sound like I might be getting one.
Just bought a cheap one on Amazon, like $80, right? Nothing fancy. You just as long as the pans come out or whatever the dishes can come out to clean it, right?
Right.
And just go to the Italian store, get some fresh pizza dough. You roll into like out of one pizza dough, it can make 4 calzones. So you cut it to 4, roll it out on a plate, fill it up with all your toppings, pop it in the deep fryer, 4 minutes each side. Oh my god.
That would be insane. That would be really good.
Just put whatever you want in it. It's great.
Yeah. And what is your filling of choice?
Whatever. I like meat, so pepperoni, sausage, salami, feta cheese, cheddar cheese, pizza sauce, green peppers, onions, pineapple.
Pineapple. Oh,
Fresh ground Parmesan.
Now, there you go. You know, I have had pineapple on pizza, and I stay out of that whole controversy because it isn't bad. You know, everybody's about what a nightmare that is. Like, no, that's not bad actually.
I'm pretty sure Hawaiian pizza is a Canadian invention.
It kind of seems like it, doesn't it?
I remember reading something about that, like out of Winnipeg or something.
Huh.
Some dude just threw pineapple on a pizza.
Yeah,
Pineapple.
It's not unheard of. And well, I had some good friends in college that they did a semester abroad in the 80s, and they went to they were in London. And
London, England, or
yeah,
Canada?
sorry, England, the UK. And they were they found there was Pizza Hut. There was a Pizza Hut there. So they go in to get a pizza, order a pizza, and they found out that the British love for toppings is not nearly the same as the North American love for toppings. My favorite was they told me that you could get corn on pizza.
Corn?
Corn, yeah.
Like just get
like corn, yeah, kernels of corn. They would just put it on the pizza.
That's just weird.
Yeah. Consider the source. Yeah.
But I remember I was in Germany a long time ago. I went to McDonald's. It must have been like 17. And one, the fact that you can get a combo with a half pint.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just like, okay, that's cool. But their rib sandwich,
yeah,
it's not McRib. It's a bun with a third rack.
Seriously.
It's ribs.
It's not a pork cutlet. It's a real rib.
It's a small rack of ribs on a bun. Bone in and the whole shebang. Right?
Jeez.
It's like, okay. Now
Bone-in,
that
like, why are they putting it on a bun?
it's just so you can have bread, right? I
I
don't know.
guess. I guess. I
Like
guess.
you take it off the bun, you drink your beer, and you
True.
eat
True.
your ribs.
True.
But yeah, it was just weird, like weird in a good way.
Now,
I
do
came
you?
back to Canada, and I was like, "Oh, they have McRib." I ordered McRib. What the hell is this?
Are things in uh, food in Canada? Is it any really real dramatically different at all, or still pretty much the same as the States?
In what sense?
Well, like pizza. Is there any like unusual toppings up there? I mean, aside from the possibility of the Hawaiian pizza being invented there.
Um, I don't know. I mean, like, what's weird, right?
Well, let
you
me
can
rephrase
get
that. Dramatically different, not weird. Just
what, like calamari pizza?
that's unusual.
Mm, Some places have that, but I don't think it's that different than kind of the stuff that you have there. But
I'm
I
not.
think it depends on where in the country you are. Like I remember talking to a friend of mine who worked in the exhibition business,
Uh-huh.
like the film exhibition.
Right, right.
Not not that
Not,
not the other kind of exhibition. Um,
not. He wasn't an exhibitionist.
yeah, no, he just worked in the industry. And the company that he worked for purchased a small chain down in the south. Um,
Okay.
and they bought over the locations and rebranded or whatever, and then they changed their concession menu to kind of their corporate menu because they're a national chain.
Okay.
So popcorn, pop, hot dogs, nachos, whatever.
Right.
The community was outraged because they got rid of the pickled eggs from the concession stand. Like their business just tanked because people stopped going to movies because they didn't get their pickled eggs. So then they had to find a
Wow.
supplier for pickled eggs and bring the pickled eggs back. And it was just like save the business wherever it was.
That's funny you mentioned that. It's not really a well-known thing, but locally here, I'm near Pittsburgh, and pickled eggs is a very big thing in Pittsburgh. And pickled or deviled eggs, both of those two things.
But that's not the
And
same thing.
no, they're not. I said I had to add both of those things. But
Yeah.
just about every bar in Pittsburgh has pickled eggs, and it's not like a decoration. They really do sell lots of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I've seen that um, in movies and stuff where you walk to a bar and there's a big jar of pickled eggs.
yeah, no, they really do love them in Pittsburgh. My Michelle, she lived in Pittsburgh for a number of years, and she's not originally from there. So when she moved over here to Ohio, that was one of the things she was talking about. Was like one of the first things she asked me was like, "Are you people freaking crazy for pickled eggs over here too?" And I went, "Not that I'm aware of." And that's when I started paying attention to it. It's only an hour away, and it's almost a different culture. And yeah, they are like insane over pickled eggs in Pittsburgh, and I really never noticed it before, and then I really noticed it anywhere else, like other cities we travel for Comic Cons and stuff. Just the mention of pickled eggs just kind of like made people kind of grossed out. But oh, not in the Berg.
See, I've never tried it. I would. Like, I'd be curious to see what it tastes like. But yeah, can't say I'm gonna start running around
Yeah,
small cities trying to find pickled eggs.
yeah. It's not something that it seems to me that you would be going crazy for. But I don't know. There's all kinds of weird local things, and just as far as eating goes, the area around here, they're really big into anything with mayonnaise on it. So like any kind of the like macaroni salad, potato salad, that kind of stuff, they love it here.
Do you put mayo on your fries?
No, I do not.
Have you ever tried it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I have. I have.
Game changer. Game changer.
You know what? What actually, I got kind of converted a little bit was ranch on fries.
Oh, ranch dressing?
Yeah, yeah. I've been
I never
learning
tried that.
ranch and potatoes in general is a good combination.
See, I like to dip my pizza in ranch, like the
Yeah,
crust.
yeah. That's good.
Oh, okay. So then I hear the news has traveled to America. Canada has had to dip into our national reserve of maple syrup.
Has done what?
We had to dip into our national reserves of maple syrup.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, it was on the news
It
because
would be. No,
it's a big deal. Like, comically, but also because I don't know. I'm not sure what caused the shortage of maple syrup, whether it was COVID or um, weather related.
I, I had never thought about it being such a big thing up there until I watched one of those episodes of Anthony Bourdain
Oh,
and the one where he went to Montreal.
and
And
there's maple syrup and everything.
oh my God, yes. And, some of it though was really interesting. They, one of my favorites was they did it was like a party favor, but it was before dinner was served. They brought out this huge block of ice that they actually had in a like a very powerful freezer. So it was like very cold, fog rolling off of this thing. And they brought it out and put it out on the table. And somebody brought out a big jar of the homemade maple syrup from the region there, and they started drizzling it over the ice, and the syrup would immediately congeal and harden on this ice, and people would start just picking pieces of this syrup off of the ice and just eating it like it was candy.
Well, if you ever go to tree tapping party, which is
Uh-huh.
not just a Canadian thing, because I was talking to somebody else.
No, it's not. You're right. You're
Well,
right. It is.
like anywhere where you make maple syrup, right?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
they do. Is you tap the trees, but you also let the syrup drop in the snow, and you get these like lollipop shaped
Huh.
things, right? And
Okay.
then you just eat it like fresh, farm
Huh.
to table.
That's neat. That is neat.
Now, I don't know if I would trust the sanitary condition of snow these days, but
Well, depending on what part of the woods it's in, I guess,
yeah,
and, if the snow around the tree isn't safe, you probably know. I mean, just what color is it? Just that's all you
yeah,
got to ask.
is sometimes it's just too white.
Yeah.
Um, and let's look at the comments for a second. So Gordon wants to smoke some ribs. Do it and send some
Yes.
over.
Oh, he's down in Louisiana. That's now we're
Yeah,
talking barbecue now.
yeah. I'm surprised he's not smoking ribs already.
Seriously.
Um, Warner likes to put tartar sauce on fries and buffalo sauce on tater tots.
I could go with the buffalo sauce on the tater tots, but tartar sauce on fries.
And Gordon says he does like a sriracha mayo or chipotle mayo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, buffalo sauce. So I can't find buffalo sauce anywhere anymore.
Seriously.
I don't know what happened.
Huh.
Like nothing. No brand. No Kraft. No Newman. No. The only thing I can find is Frank's Red Hot buffalo sauce, but that's not really buffalo sauce. It's just
No, their buffalo
different.
sauce. Their buffalo sauce is buffalo sauce. They do a regular hot sauce and then they do the buffalo sauce.
Yeah, not the stuff I bought.
Oh, okay.
It
Well,
burned
I mean,
my eyelid.
you want the good stuff. Okay.
Actually, I don't want the good stuff. I want the craft version. The stuff that's got that buffalo flavor but won't make you bleed.
Well, what about I remember somebody telling me that buffalo sauce is they would make it themselves, and I mean, Frank's was a big part of it, but they would just use like regular Frank's hot sauce,
with
but they
butter.
would mix, yeah, and they would mix it
Yeah,
with butter. They melted
that's
butter
what
and they would
Gordon's saying.
and mix it together. And yeah, they never used like pre-made buffalo sauce, and their stuff was fantastic.
Yeah, see, that's more effort that I'm prepared to put into my dip.
I guess.
If I want to start making my own sauces,
Well, you got me curious though. What's up with this buffalo sauce shortage in Canada? I mean,
like it's like not even on the shelves anymore. Like there's no barcode for it. For the longest time, it was like empty slots on the shelves, and it
yeah,
said, like this buffalo sauce or whatever. It was always empty, but then it's gone. Like, and I think I don't know what it is, but like ragu, like
yeah.
ragu brand stuff, they're gone from Canada. They pulled out.
Seriously,
Yeah, okay, we're not selling our stuff to Canadians anymore.
what the hell?
I don't know.
Yeah. Not that
Not
that's
that
a
I was a
huge
fan.
loss.
Yeah, like it was like not that it's a huge loss, but um, Pam's mom really liked it, and during the lockdowns, I like I'd be the only one to go shopping,
Yeah,
and there's always ragu, the classic ragu on the list, and I'm like, sorry, they don't have it. Like for months, and then finally I looked it up, and yeah, sure enough, ragu stopped distribution to Canada.
huh?
She wasn't thrilled.
The evils of capitalism.
Mm. How are you gonna deny me my ragu?
Seriously.
Yeah, maybe some weird tariff we don't know about. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too, man. It's got that's the only explanation because I mean that's God, we can practically fill a swimming pool with it around here. They, we have a lot of different kinds of jarred sauce though around here. That's actually a lot better.
I don't know. Do you guys have Hunt's? That brand? I don't know if it's
Yeah.
Canadian or not.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of their four cheese.
There's a local company here called Delalo, Delalo, I think it's called. They make a really good sauce. They make really good Italian everything. And I don't know if they are how far their reach is, but I know they have like it was started in the Pittsburgh area, and they're all over Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. I know, but I'm not sure if they've. I don't think I've ever seen them out like Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, that area, but they're really good. And I know a lot of stuff, especially nowadays. There's sure there's duty involved, but it could be shipped to Canada if need be.
Yeah, but Elmer saying Bertoli's. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, Bertolli's good.
See, there's in the area where my office is, there's a small chain of Italian supermarkets,
There you
and
go.
they sell like all the craft and all the kind of commercial stuff, but they
Yeah,
also sell a lot of homemade things. So
that's the
they
best.
have like really good like homemade sauce, no preservatives, got a shelf life of like 4 days.
Yeah.
Like they made it the night before. It's great.
I mean, honestly, we keep a small stash of the jarred stuff. Just if you want to make spaghetti, I'm gonna actually make that for dinner tonight. Actually, because I really don't want to deal with a whole bunch of spaghetti sauce. But here, I mean, we make. I mean, especially me. I mean, I make my own all the time. I just get a couple of cans of like Hunt's or Red Pack, just the sauce.
Yeah.
Not the spaghetti sauce, just the tomato sauce, and a couple cans of paste and some puree, and just spend a Sunday usually cooking that, and making homemade meatballs and everything, and just do the slow cook while football's on. And I usually have enough to fill up like 2 or 3 containers, which is about the size of a jar of ragu.
Okay, so then you just
And
pop it
just
in the
freeze it.
fridge.
Just
Oh,
pop it in the
freezer, yeah.
freeze it. Yeah, it'll last for for a long time. And yeah, when we want to do that, like if say we want to do like a lasagna or cook a bunch of pasta, we'll just pull that out of the freezer, let it thaw a little bit, and then just heat it up in a pot. you're good to go. And I got that from my father, who he was well, I'm not getting into detail. He knew a lot of Italians.
So he had the inside scoop.
And he well, he was very big on homemade Italian stuff. So we never really did ragu much. You know, he was actually appalled by the idea of doing anything like that.
Oh man, one thing I did last time I made, I don't know, spaghetti or something with a meat sauce. I did the ground beef and salsa.
That would work. That would work.
That was good. That was really good. I don't know what possessed me to do it, but oh man, was that ever good.
A friend of mine used to do as a quick snack or as a real quick lunch. He'd cook up rice and just pour salsa on it.
Yeah, I've had that. That's not bad. I know a lot of people do it with just like tomato sauce.
I've done that. Yeah.
Yeah, put a little salsa on there.
Can't do rice anymore, so I miss it.
Is that for personal choice or?
Well, yeah, it's a personal being blood sugar.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, it rice is very bad for me. It really spikes my blood sugar for some crazy reason. But like wheat pasta doesn't as bad. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it all out, but I just know rice is a big no-no. Yeah, I got that smudged all over there.
Cool. Thanks, Sommer. Enjoy the rest of your evening. He's bailing.
Oh, Seagrove.
To
To go smoke his ribs.
No, that was Elmer. Gordon left.
Oh,
already.
Elmer. I thought you said Gordon. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he left like 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
Oh, Warner's asking, is it brown rice as well?
Yeah, any kind.
Yeah, oh, any kind. Okay.
I've tried. I mean, it's weird. I've even tried like basmati rice, and it's terrible.
It's weird.
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't write the script. I don't write the script. I just do the dances. Now we do cook a lot of Italian around here. Holy crap!
I'm not opposed to Italian food.
Good. In the event of a hopeful post-COVID world, if I could get your butt down here, or at least close by, Cleveland has a fantastic Italian festival. It's the Feast of the Saints that they do down on, it's called Murray Hills, the neighborhood. It's on the east side of Cleveland. And it's all these old school Italian families.
Oh, nice.
They have it's like right out of The Godfather. They have like the big bingo tournaments going on at the Catholic Church, and they have all the food stands set up, and they sell the Italian ice. And, oh, it's amazing. You like clams?
No, not at all.
Oh, well, that ended that conversation.
Yeah. Like I'm not big on seafood, and a couple years ago I was at a event in where the hell was it? Nova Scotia or Newfoundland or whatever. It's like the mecca of lobster, right?
Oh yeah.
So I was like, okay. I mean, I don't like lobster restaurants, so if it's gonna be good, this is where it's gonna be good. And that's all they were serving at the closing dinner. It was lobster and mussels.
Okay.
Like fresh out of the ocean that morning, right?
Wow.
So okay. I got my lobster. I was like, okay, this is interesting. Didn't like it. Mussels though, they weren't bad. Garlic butter.
Yeah.
It kind of tastes like chestnuts.
Yeah. Good shellfish are like that. They kind of have like a nutty taste to them.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of lobster either. Michelle loves it. I'm not a huge fan. It's I got really turned off by it because again, my father had he cooked a couple lobsters and he handed me over some of the lobster tail. He pulled that out and I was like, oh, this is I tasted it. I was like, that's pretty good. And I had some of the claw and it was good. But I just remember there was part of this tail. It was like really mushy, and it had this like horrible, horrible fishy taste.
Oh,
And I mean, I was to this day I'm kind of grossed out by it. I'm like, yeah, every time people talk about lobster, like, yeah. So what's your favorite then? You got a favorite cuisine?
um, I like Chinese food, but like not traditional Chinese food, or Japanese food, but again, not traditional, kind of like the
Yeah.
mainstream stuff.
Okay. I could
Um,
get behind that. That's good stuff.
Done pizza. Pizza's good.
Yeah.
Mm, and I don't really discriminate. I really have never had a slice of pizza that was like that I threw out.
I'm thinking you'd probably get some decent Chinese food up there.
Oh yeah, and Middle Eastern. Like we get great Middle Eastern food.
Yeah, that would be good.
Like man, some of the shawarma you can get up here, whew,
Uh-huh.
or falafels, or
We get we have a Middle Eastern market and a Middle Eastern restaurant kind of near each other, not far from here in Youngstown. And oh my God, yeah. Even stuff like Michelle will like order the fattoush salad, or and I'll get shish kebab and stuff. Oh my God, it's just so good.
yeah.
I love that stuff. And the market, every time I get a chance to get up there, as a matter of fact, I'm thinking I might go up there tomorrow. I always pick up a tub of baba ganoush.
Oh man, a good baba ganoush is
Yeah, it's killer.
yeah,
I could destroy a tub of that stuff.
yeah. You can go to a place that makes fresh pita
Oh yeah.
or lafa. Have you ever had lafa?
I have not had lafa. Michelle's had it, I think.
It's it's the same dough I think as a pita, but
Uh-huh.
it's a lot thinner, and
Oh,
they usually
okay.
like
I
like
was
a 12-inch circle.
okay. I got it wrong. I was thinking of something else because there was something that I saw that it was like pita, but it was a little doughier. It was almost like naan bread, like Indian naan bread, but
Right.
it was much more Middle Eastern. It was very it was like unleavened pita bread, and I don't even know what the hell it was. It was some
Well, there's different kinds of pita bread too,
yeah,
right?
that's probably
Depending
what it was.
on what part of the world it comes from. Because the
Yeah.
recipes are different. But yeah, I get a fresh lafa. It's still warm.
Oh
Just dip that in the tub of baba ganoush and just
yeah,
go
just
ham.
Jesus, just scooping chunks of it,
Yeah.
just big old barrels of that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because when lafa or pita bread, whatever, when it's still warm, it
uh-huh.
sticks to itself, right?
Okay.
So you roll it into cones and you just
Nice.
dip
A
it in.
Baba Ganoush cone. Oh, yes. Now we're talking.
But other
This
than that,
market.
like I'm not
Yeah.
big on taking risks with food.
How you feel about like Mexican or Latin American?
Um, I think I like it. I don't really like too spicy.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't think I've ever had any real good Mexican food. Like Taco Bell doesn't count.
No, no, no.
Um,
Not even close.
there's like there's fast food type things like burrito bowls or burrito bros and all these things. I don't know if they're out there as well, which are they're okay. Like beans and
Yeah.
some steak, whatever, lettuce, pico de gallo, whatever. That's all good. But I'm sure that's kind of like the streamlined, um,
Yeah, it's real Americanized.
non-traditional stuff. Though when I was in LA, found this little place that all they do is what are they called, empanadas.
Yes, empanadas are freaking great.
Oh my god, it's got to be like 20 by 20 feet. It's like the size of a tiny convenience store, and
Uh-huh.
they're just baking empanadas all day long, and the
Oh
lineups are on
goodness.
the corner, and
Yeah.
it's like, what kind do you want? Do you want breakfast? You want dinner? You want lunch? You want dessert? It's like ham and eggs and ham and Nutella. That's what. So I started with a buddy of mine that um, doing some studio tours. So somebody told us about it. I mean, the first time I went to LA, we're like, okay, let's go check out all the places that all the magazines and websites tell you to go, like to eat, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, it's good, get steak or whatever, nice view. But it's like, it's nothing special. I can get the same quality food back home. So then basically go every year. So then the last time we went, we said, screw it, we're going to ask the locals where to eat.
Yes.
So we're talking to just like, where should we go for breakfast? And it's like, oh, there's this little Portuguese place down on Burbank and whatever, but you got to get there half an hour early because the lineups are crazy. And yeah, sure enough, these crazy, crazy lineups. And what did they have there? These like crab balls? No, these, yeah, like crab meatball type things.
Uh-huh.
Oh, said I'm not big on seafood, but I could eat a lot of that. And then the same guy told us about the little empanada place.
Yeah.
Um,
The,
it's like,
the
yeah, drive in
empanada.
this street when you see the big gun store sign, park, and then these guys are next to it. Like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like,
The
which
empanada.
gun store sign?
Yeah. The empanada story, the empanada place you're talking about is that, God, this reminds me of when I took Aaron down to San Antonio, and my brother-in-law, we were staying at his house, and he and his wife were taking off for Europe for a week, and the deal was is Aaron got to kind of house sit, and I was helping her out with that, take care of the pool and kind of crap while I was waiting for my flight to come back home. And he gave us like a list of places to eat, recommendations. And of course, I'm hitting him up with Mexican places. I'm like, there's a taco stand every 15 feet in San Antonio. So I say, all right, well, we called in the order, and we went to get lunch there. And I drove down there, and it was like an old bar. I think like before these guys owned it, it was a bar because this is what it looked like. And I mean, there was a bar literally right behind it, and they had like this makeshift counter set up with the tables from the bar. They just had them like lined up, and it was this older guy and a couple of younger guys, and they were just kind of like sitting there. One guy was folding napkins, another guy was I don't know what he was doing with tortillas. Like, he had a bunch of tortillas and was like sorting them or something. And the phone would ring, and the one middle-aged guy would run back and answer the phone and take orders. And there was this like little portly Mexican woman who was always running back and forth from the kitchen to this line of tables with these bags. And there was like a waiting list. So you had to call at a certain time or you were never getting your food. And then they would shut down early. They would like close at like 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
And you were done. So you had to get your order in, and that was it. So so I'm walking in, and there is literally a line. I mean, this was like right out of Seinfeld. There was a line going out of the street, and I come into this place, and I'm just looking at it going, what the hell? It's just so grungy looking, like right out of a Robert Rodriguez movie. It is just. Yeah, you're expecting some guy with cowboy boots playing a guitar with like a scar across his face over in the corner or something. And they just hand us like 3 bags of food, and I get back, and Aaron and I open this up and start eating. This was authentic. This was really, really good. And the surprising thing was, it wasn't super spicy. It was just really flavorful, very messy, but like,
Just
but
falls apart.
yeah. I mean, it was just like everything was soupy. Everything was just like there's tons of juice and tons of sauce and I mean, there was like a little chili taste to it, but nothing hot. As a matter of fact,
No.
if you wanted heat, you really had to like kind of go get your stash of hot sauce to zing it up. They kind of make it real traditional,
Hmm.
and it was really good. But again, it was like what you were saying is like there were people that were going in there and getting the breakfast stuff at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They had, when you
Whatever
order
you
the menu,
want.
yeah, they had everything there. You could do like egg tacos or egg burritos or sausage burritos and stuff. I mean, and it's all handmade, all homemade, and it was just amazing. But,
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where else we went. We went to this fried chicken place that somebody recommended,
uh-huh.
and it's like an LA chain, like Richie's Chicken or something like that. They have like 6 locations across, the greater Los Angeles areas,
Right.
and it just looks like a Denny's, right? Like a beat up,
Yeah.
shitty Denny's, and you go in and you order, and it's like KFC prices, right? Like, yeah, let's have the chicken sandwich with the whatever.
Right.
And they make it fresh to order, which was surprising. So you sit down, and
Wow.
then they bring it out, and it's like, oh my god, this stuff is like, this is the best chicken I've ever had. With deep fried pickles and stuff, and it's like, oh yeah,
Oh,
we do everything fresh, and we do it in peanut oil, and I was like, oh my god, this is delicious.
Jesus. Oh, man.
They bring you the bill, and it's like $14 for 2 people, and you're like, what? I paid more to park.
Probably.
I did.
LA. I was gonna say in LA, I'm sure you did.
Got a valet everywhere. That drove me nuts.
Oh.
So the first time we went, we asked somebody from one of the film studios, like, okay, which hotel should we book at?
Right.
And they're like, okay, where are you going? Whatever. So we're primarily in Burbank. They're like, oh yeah, go here to this hotel. It's really nice, whatever, reasonably priced. So we go there, and it's like tiny ass rooms, only valet parking, insanely expensive bar, really nothing special, right? But it's posh,
Okay.
right? Just I guess because the name and whatever. So I think for the week I was there, I spent like $150 in valet tips.
Jesus.
Because we get out in the morning, go ask for the card, they bring it out to you, drop the guy a couple of bucks, and we had like meetings in the morning, like 2 meetings in the morning. Then we'd come back for a couple of hours. Then we'd have an afternoon meeting, go for dinner, come and change, afternoon meeting, then come back, change, and go out for dinner. So it's like 3 times a day at least.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? It's like, this is getting out of hand. So then the second time we went, we're like, we're just gonna go to the Sheraton up the street. Right? It was half the price, free parking.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi included.
Oh, there you go.
I was like, they didn't even have Wi-Fi in a lot of the rooms.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, like, oh, you didn't ask for Wi-Fi, so we didn't give you a Wi-Fi enabled room. It's just like, wow.
And this is considered posh.
Yeah, like, what am I paying for? But I got to tell you, one night we stayed up at the bar and had maybe 6 too many drinks.
Okay.
I made quite the mess in the bathroom there. I was everywhere.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
If I could safely say I've never done anything like that, then I would pass judgment. But
one thing I noticed in the States is when you ask for a double,
oh yeah,
nobody's sitting there with a measuring cup. They're just
No.
eyeballing it. So the bar, like, I had a rum and coke, I have another rum and coke, had a couple of beers. Then I'm like,
oh yeah,
okay,
you can get destroyed now.
and then I'm like, yeah, you know what? Just make it a double rum and coke. And I'm just chatting with the bartender, and I'm seeing him, and he's chatting, and he's pouring. He's not even looking, right?
No.
That pushed me right over the edge. And I can handle my liquor. Like, I can, not that I'm bragging, but I can drink a lot. But yeah, that is, that's like the 50-50. That's a double. Like,
Well, I also noticed too. I also noticed too. A lot of places, a lot of cities we go to, and I don't know if it's a uniquely American thing or not, but many bars, especially in cities, they have this really insidious habit of if you're sitting there and you keep drinking the same thing, if you can pay attention to it, you may notice that it's getting stronger and stronger as you go along. And I think what they're doing is, I think the idea is they want you out of there. I don't know what the planning on this is, especially if it's like, some place that also serves food. It's like they kind of want you to have a couple drinks and get the hell out.
So
So
they just want to get you smashed so you
so
pass
they
out
just
and
get you,
leave?
yeah. So they just get you hammered to, just so you're just like, okay, fine, get me out of here. I don't know if it's just the bartenders or if it's the policy or what, but I've been in so many places where that was actually happening. The
Hey,
most notorious one was it was in Pittsburgh again, where right after Comic-Con, my one friend April, the redhead that does a lot of modeling for me, she was
yeah,
in
yeah.
town for this, and she's she went to dinner with us, and we were at this place, and she just starts ordering margaritas. It was a Mexican place, and she's ordering margaritas. And the first one came out. It was pretty touristy. It was like big bowl of freaking tequila and fruit juice, and lots of ice and crap and salt floating in it and stuff. And basically your touristy margarita. And we're just chatting and drinking, and she's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna order another one." I'm like, okay. And then after the second one, I noticed she's getting really giddy. Now, she's not a big drinker, so I'm not thinking this is unusual, right? But then she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have one more." And they brought the third one, and Dre, I'm not kidding, man. She's sitting across from me, and I could smell the tequila coming off of this glass. And I'm thinking, this was not the way it started. These did not start this way.
See,
And I don't know.
yeah, go
I,
ahead. Sorry.
no, I was like, I mean, part of me actually thought was like the bartender's like, "Yeah, get the chesty redhead hammered and see what happens." But oh my god, it was like lethal level when that third one came out.
And I don't know if it's like up to the bar's discretion or the establishment's discretion down the states, but like here the liquor control laws are really strict,
Uh-huh.
and like an establishment will lose its license over one infraction. So
Huh.
nobody's messing around, right? So if you can't serve, there's some weird things. Like I'm trying to remember, you can't have. Oh, crap! I used to have my thing, but it's like if you're one person, you
Yeah.
can't order two drinks at the same time.
Oh, no double fisting.
No, so you can't order two beers. They can say you can order two. It's like, okay, I'll bring you one, and when you're done, this one I'll bring you the other.
Huh.
You can do like give me a shot of Jack and a beer. You can't order a pitcher as one person.
Huh.
You can't do more than I think 3 ounces in a drink. Yeah, it's really.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know how many of those are shared down here or not. I mean, I really don't know. And I think maybe one of the things in the States is as you said, I think it's more up to the bartender to kind of enforce these things. Because I know there was there was a real trend there for a while of bartenders really kind of making a call as far as people, how drunk they were, like
Yeah.
is this guy allowed to leave so he can drive, and
Yeah.
it was kind of always up to the bartenders to kind of decide this. And I don't know if that's kind of the gospel policy or what, but I don't know. I haven't gone out drinking so long, Dre, I couldn't even tell you, but
So Warner wants to know if that was the place where she heard the Zima story. I guess talking about.
let me see. Let me think about that. Yeah,
Uh,
it would have been. It would have been.
yeah.
Yeah, that would have been the Zima story. Has Warner ever shared with you the Zima story?
I saw he sent me a YouTube video or a Facebook video where I think it's you, Forney,
Yeah,
Warner. I know there's a couple of other guys I don't recognize.
that was
Stephanie
probably,
Forney's in the background, and you're all
yeah,
kind of telling stories, and Warner goes on about his Zima incident.
that was Akron. Yeah, that was the Akron Comic Con when a
That
couple of our
was
guy. Yeah,
funny stuff.
Oh well, it was funny because it just kind of started off was these guys wanted us to start telling stories about Comic Con.
Yeah.
They were looking at us like we had some cool stories, and immediately like Warner and I both chime in like oh, you think you do, and
Here, hold my beer.
yeah, here, hold my beer, and it just started, because and the thing was is Warner and I, we were always sharing our stories anyway. We'd always be telling each other. He told me about the Zima story. I told him about well, I have my own infamous one.
The Asian lady's portrait.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that
yes,
one
yes.
killed
The
me.
the Asian lady's portrait, and yeah, and Forney has a couple of good ones too, and
I
because we've been
actually
doing.
love how animated Forty gets in that video.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because you can see the excitement building throughout because it's like an hour and a half thing, right?
He actually gets like that. He gets excited. It's funny, and the more he gets like that, the more entertaining he becomes. I mean, it's not like making fun of him. It's just he just becomes so social. It's just so funny, and yeah, throw some alcohol in with that. Oh, it's even better.
See,
Because I've seen,
I don't know any of you guys outside of streams, so I don't know what you're like in the real world.
yeah, pretty much the same.
Mm.
Pretty much the same. But yeah, yeah, that was one of those ones where these guys were, and they do a lot of shows too, which was funny, and they were just kind of saying, it's like, oh yeah, we've got some great stories, and they're telling them, and Warner and I looking at each other, going, when do we get the spotlight? Yeah, it's sit right back and you'll hear a tale.
Let me tell you a story, lassie.
I I was a balmy night.
Yeah.
And the little Asian woman came up to me with a plain brown envelope.
Thinking back, like, who does that at a con? Who goes to a con with the manila envelope of said pictures, and that's their plan?
You
Like,
would think nobody. You would think nobody.
like, hey, I want to get some erotica, some custom erotica done. You're just gonna go to a con and kind of ask around, say, "Hey, can you draw this? What
That's
about
what they
this?"
were. That's what they were doing. And
So, like, it's weird, and I'm not here to pass judgment, but it's fucking weird.
no, oh no, but that's that. I wish I could say that was the weirdest group that I ever dealt with, because it by far wasn't. Uh, it just was one of the more entertaining stories. But
And sorry, if I remember correctly, they sent you Christmas cards, didn't they? You kept in touch with them, right?
I don't know. I can't remember about that. I think they did. It's been a long time now,
Mm.
but yeah, they did stay in touch with me for a little while, and he got worse because then the next time I actually saw them, he was in a wheelchair,
Oh,
and he wasn't doing very well, and somebody had told me that I think he might have passed on a couple of years later, but yeah, they weren't exactly like regulars. It wasn't like some of the people that go around and get lots of sketches and everybody knows who they are. They were just kind of doing that. It was like he had this wife, and he wanted erotic art, and that's what he was doing. He was kind of their scout, and I guess they liked the first one I did because that was what they were. That's why they kept kind of bugging me, is they wanted more. And yeah, I was kind of trying to get out of that little contract, But no, I mean, by far not the weirdest. You get crap like that all the time. And yeah, people do bring reference like that. Yeah.
but it's like yeah, I don't get people,
I don't either. I
but
don't either.
bless
Well,
them all. I don't get them.
well, I mean, talk about weird. There was the one time, I think it was this Baltimore. Some friends of mine, a guy does pinup art, and he was set up, and he had he had his portfolio out, and it was like a couple of the sexier superheroes. It was like like a Spider-Man and the Red Sonja and a Vampirella, kind of just out. And I guess this guy came up and just started complimenting him on the pictures, and then he just suddenly bent down and sniffed the pictures. And I'm still trying to figure that one out.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around that. Like, why could it possibly?
Yeah.
Marvel Stunts in the house. How's it going, buddy?
How's it going, man?
His name's Pat.
Hi, Pat.
So Pat is one of Dave Palumbo's. Do you know who that is?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, he was one of his models for most of the Marvel Masterpieces 2020
okay.
stuff. So Pat's a good guy. He's
What's Pat do? Is he an artist too, or is he?
He's a stuntman.
Really? And he's done comic modeling.
He's actor, stuntman, and Twitch video gamer.
Okay, this is going to get weird here. Bear with me. Pat, send me your contact info.
So Marvel Stunts. Hang on, let me copy.
Please.
Pat, I hope you see this. If not, I'll message you.
Yeah.
Remind me to DM him. I'll introduce you.
Okay. Guys. Yeah, I am actually in need of some reference models for some of the fantasy stuff and the sci-fi stuff, and it's kind of tough to find somebody reliable. I mean, there's cosplay girls that are willing to get naked with no problem whatsoever, but that doesn't always work out, for a real project. And guys in particular, it's almost impossible. I've had a real hard time trying to find guys to model some of this stuff. And yes, I pay. And if Pat, you're still listening, I do pay for this. This is not a hey, why don't you pose for me and sucks to be you kind of thing, I'm
gonna draw you like one of my French girls.
You're gonna be one of my French girls.
Yeah. Shit, there's my phone.
Oh no.
On the floor. That's okay.
And there it goes again.
That's why I have a case. Here, let me show you my old phone. That I was like, for the longest, I'm like, fuck that shit. I don't need a case.
Oh, jeez.
Till one day. Can you see?
Let me see it again. Holy jeez.
Oh, wait, there's more.
How did you do?
So,
man.
I dropped it in the barn on the cement floor. And that happened.
Yeah.
Front. And then as soon as you get one crack in any of these glass phones, that's it. The entire structure stability breaks. And then a couple of days later, I dropped it on the carpet. And that happened.
The carpet did that?
On the carpet. Because at that point, you can sneeze at it.
Oh, jeez.
And I went to see, how much to repair this? I'm like, $470. Like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
So you actually cracked the screen.
I cracked everything because this is the Galaxy, and it's got the glass. It's got the nice aluminum bezel to keep it from, I don't know what, but, if you drop it and it makes contact out of the metal bezel. Or whatever
I got the front of mine's pretty cracked up too, but it's the cover, that kind of real thin glass cover that they put over top of them.
Oh, okay.
So that's like $50 to. I just haven't bothered to do it.
Yeah.
But cracking the screen. That's. I dread that. I just dread that. I know it's going to happen. I'm just dreading it.
Yeah. So I use that as a webcam sometimes.
Nice. I did not know carpet could do that to a phone.
Yeah, it's like seriously. Then I got a case for it because I still use that for like a month.
Nice. That's too much. A lot of this I don't want to mess with too much because it's going to get painted.
Oh, you are going to color? I was going to ask.
Oh yeah. It's going to get. I'm loving that new technique, man. I'm having so much fun with it.
Which one's this?
The one I was telling you about, where I do an underlay of watercolor, throw
Oh
washes on
yeah,
it and everything,
yeah,
and then I go over top of it with the Copics
right.
to tighten it up, and it comes across pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, it's like certain projects, it really looks dynamic. It was a She-Hulk I just did recently where it just came out like super cool, and
Yeah, that's a
I'm
sexy She-Hulk.
I'm still trying to figure out how the hell that worked out. But yeah, that was like, whoa, I did that. That's kind of cool. Uh, but yeah, it was it's just messing with the Copics on top of watercolor and just layering color, and that's a good way to get depth. And that's I never really messed around doing that too much. It was always kind of like applying layers right as I was going with the graphite, and now it's like let's try transparent layers of color, managed a little bit better because it's watercolor. And
I've recently started dabbling with the airbrush.
yeah, okay,
Hence the lightning and the smoother background on this. Like I'm not doing anything fancy because it's a cheap airbrush, like one of those $60 Amazon kits with the
yeah,
portable compressor.
yeah.
It does the job, but you can't get fine detail. Not that I know how to do like what to do with it, but oh, I like it. I likes it a lot.
I want to get one. The guy, his name is Tony Moy, New York guy, does a lot of watercolor stuff. Was our neighbor in Baltimore, and he had one of those, and had the the lithium battery compressor.
Oh yeah, no, this one's a plug-in one, but I don't know which one you're talking about because I was looking at that one. But
Okay,
see that?
let me see. Sorry, one more time.
That
Oh
sounds cool.
yeah,
So I did the rough painting, then airbrushed all the shadows in and did the background, and then went back in to pick up the highlights and some more,
yeah.
like got a little more color value, like on the tongue and the blue.
I
So
like how the lightning effect. It really helps that too.
yeah, as you can see, I'm liking. I discovered airbrush, so I can do lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Like lightning. Oh, where else can I throw a lightning bolt?
Lightning everywhere.
Yay!
Dude, it's Bambi. I don't care. Lightning.
Lightning. Pew pew. There be thunder. Right. So that's
Yeah.
kind of like my jam now, like trying to say, oh, can I airbrush anything?
I can see
But
how that would be. You get hooked on that, man. That's cool.
but I always look for ways to speed up the process.
Yeah, yeah.
So where the airbrush is like, if I have the time and patience um, to do a proper piece from start to finish, which I don't. What I like to do is like what you're doing there, right?
Right.
I'll use a black pencil, not graphite, just so I can
Okay.
get more contrast, and then start doing washes of paint over it. But one of the
Okay.
biggest pains in the ass is getting consistent paint, especially when you're doing like skin.
Yeah.
Right. So if I want to do, mix my my skin tone and get a nice even base over the whole thing, not too thick because then you lose all the values that you've done.
Right.
I always struggle with that because not enough water, too much water, end up with brush strokes. But the airbrush gives you a consistent flow,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
And that's
it
the
would
next
also
thing I want to do.
it would also solve the problem I keep running into is since I use graphite an awful lot. Is when I apply the wash on top of it, of course, the water starts bleeding the graphite.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been trying to find ways to get around that, so I keep the kind of the crosshatch lines in the integrity of the crosshatch lines, and keep the integrity of it, and then then be able to do like the color overlay, but keep it washy. And I mean, one of the things I was doing before was I was actually using dry media. I was using chalk and pulverizing it and
Yeah.
just brushing that over top. But the problem is it gets really grainy and it's not. It doesn't look good when you put stuff over top of it like watercolor does.
Right. One thing that you may want to try, I don't know if it'll work out. I've done this before, and actually, as long as you don't get it too wet, it works. You can use water to seal graphite. So if you get a mist bottle, like a
Yeah.
spray bottle that does a very fine mist, and just wet the paper, don't soak it, but just wet it so like it's not dripping, then blow dry it, it will seal in the graphite.
Wowzers.
But if you go too dark, too wet, and it starts
Mhm.
dripping, then it bleeds. So I don't know.
Yeah. I did not know that though. That is wow, dude. You hear the angels singing?
I
Oh,
learned
look.
that from Addie Granoff.
Look, lightning. Oh man. Wow. Oh, of course. Lord Addy.
Yeah. Well, not directly from him. He was explaining it somewhere. I'm like, okay, I'm taking note of that.
Oh, we were out when we were out having drinks.
Yeah, we're out there kicking the tires on his Porsche.
He is out in LA, isn't he? Isn't that where he is?
No, he's in England.
Oh shit! All this time I thought he was in California.
No, he's in the UK somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I actually I want to get a commission from him, but it's slightly out of my price range. But I did get some signed prints.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they're just gorgeous.
He's just amazing.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that not made me because he didn't make me do anything. I didn't want
Nobody,
to.
yeah,
So
nobody's gonna make you. Nobody is dragging.
Nobody put Baby in the corner. But he's one of the that got me turned on to go back to acrylics.
Okay.
Because I'm found him on Instagram a few years back, and I'm like watching what he's doing. I'm like, that is just gorgeous. What is he doing? Right? And sure enough, it was acrylics, and the whole wash thing that's inspired by him. So still learning. Now I got a hard on for Ricardo Federici. He does oils, occasionally acrylics, but he's also the one that he was doing some stuff with the airbrush for the exact same purpose that I wanted to do, which is to get the flat colors. And I was like, okay, if he can do it, I can do it.
There you go. I'm gonna have to check out Addie's videos though. I didn't know those existed. I've been watching a lot of David Finch lately.
I love his streams.
Whoa, David Finch. Go ahead.
Did you see the one where he had Ariel Olivetti on?
No.
The acrylic painting. Oh, you got to look that one up. That one just gold because Ariel does not give a flying anything. Right? He's talking and he's got a translator because he's in Argentina, or Portugal, something. So his English, he speaks English, but it's not very well. So he's got a translator. So Ariel's like explaining his technique. They're doing the same, translator's going on, and Ariel just finishes talking, pulls out the blow dryer, doesn't mute his mic, just like Warner style, right?
Warner style.
And then stops his blow dryer, keeps on talking. The translator's like 10 minutes behind, and he's like, oh, hold on. Ask Ariel to stop. But you watch him work, and it just makes you want to cry. He's just such a master of his craft.
Well, Finch is like that, for God's sakes. He has these videos on sketching tutorials. Tutorials. Well, okay, I'll watch this and just get some tips. And he's just blowing through this crap. It's just like, okay, this is how you do a hand. And it's like ding, 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 ding. And there's like a freaking Renaissance-looking hand. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's like, and you just do a little triangle here, and then the inking, because he does very loose pencils. So he'll go from like 4 lines in a triangle to, okay, I'm just going to block that in black, like this, like that, and I'm just going to do a little bit of cross hatching, and you're like, seriously, dude? Go away.
Yeah, he's like a freaking sorcerer. It's just he waves his
awesome,
hand.
Though.
He waves his hand and it's done, and you're just like, whoa. Yeah. You keep hitting that back button, like, all right, back. How do you do that? back. How do you do that?
But I like what he's doing more recently, and so the aerial thing came up where they're trying different techniques. It's him and another guy, and they're like, okay, let's just follow this technique. So, like the acrylic painting, the glaze approach, the aerial kind of mastered, right? And they're reproducing that, and like, dude, knock it off.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I've never really used this medium. Really? I don't believe you.
So let's tune into Mount Olympus again and see.
Yeah. So hang on, let me do a little lightning. Pull out my earbud.
I'm doing lightning.
It adds texture.
Yeah.
Maybe not overspray. Which reminds me, I do need to add a little bit more white in that lightning center. I did used to have a white pencil. That's my white
But the hell of it is like those guys do that stuff, and the thing is they're taking the time to experiment, and they're getting the gigs anyway where they're kind of experimenting on the fly
Yeah.
as they're getting their jobs, and you and I, we spent so much time actually like doing real jobs, we're
Well, that's like
working for the man,
yeah, and being self-employed, the boss is an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
They certainly do.
But I mean, I've said it before because I got back into drawing and painting a few years ago. I didn't touch a pencil for like 15 years or 10 years, something like that.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah, like totally didn't do anything. I just got back into it to unplug a few years back. Well, like 97 now, but and I'm just looking at my growth and kind of at what point I got to where I think, okay, this is where I was when I stopped, right? And it took a while, and then kind of, okay, now, I think I'm getting better.
I know you're getting better. I mean, I don't like saying that because, it kind of has the implication of, oh shit, what was I like before? But
oh yeah, no, like, but it's, so I did like the Marvel Masterpieces sketch card set, which was basically what kept me sane during COVID. I did the math, close to 400 hours into that set, 99 cards, right? Because what else was I gonna do? And it's like people that work in art full time or have I don't want to say luxury, but they have the ability to spend 6-7 hours a day painting, drawing, sculpting, whatever it is, right? The rate at which they're advancing and the proficiency that they're developing is a lot.
Yeah, it is. And you're seeing it though, as you said, with yourself. When and I'm kind of noticing this too. Like, and you just explained something for me. When I first met you, and I saw your work, and I'm like, oh, he's good. And I just thought, yeah, okay, like card artists, card artists have, there's a certain level. There's some guys that are just like, what the hell are you doing, putting that kind of work into it for? But there's just kind of a basic, I'm going to say competence. It's like there not a lot of risk taking. There's kind of just the general, make it work kind of thing, and it goes with the territory, because you've got to work fast.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of guys, and they all have like one of two styles. They're either going very loose, chaotic, almost impressionistic, and then there's the guys that go very cartoony. And it doesn't seem like there's any kind of break in between there. It's just like that's one or the other. Well, when I first saw your work, I said, oh, he's painting, and that's kind of cool because he's applying that to, the cards. And I saw it was just like this very fast style and way of doing it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's very cool. But I always noticed too, it's like, dude, you really did have a good style of drafting. Your initial, setups on all this stuff was very, very good. It was like a comic artist. And I always kind of wondered about, what kind of a hybrid here am I looking at? And then lately, you've just been
kind of hybrid.
Yeah, what kind of hybrid is this? Kind of weird mutant are you? Dude. I mean, you're a comic artist and you're a painter at the same time. You don't see that very often. It's weird. You're scaring me. But
don't be scared, child.
No. Don't talk to the mutant. Don't talk to the mutant.
Thanks.
But it's now I'm seeing it as like it's a transitional thing. You were now that you're kind of getting back into it, you're getting more comfortable. And just as you said, when you do this stuff for a while, and then you kind of get to a burnout point, you're like, okay, I'll stop. and then you'll put it down, and you might dabble for a little bit, and then you get frustrated because it's, you're not where you think you should be, because you're not really investing the time into it, as you said. You got a job, or you're just getting frustrated at doing it, and then there'll come a point where you're just like, screw it, I'm going to sit down and do this, and I'm going to, or you get a job to do it, you get a commission, or you get a gig like cards or something like that, and then you're really putting the time in, and it just starts taking off. You start seeing your skill level increasing geometrically. And that was kind of what was happening with you. Is like we were doing these streams, and like I remember seeing the pieces that you were first doing, and then they're good. I liked them, but then all of a sudden, like every piece you're working on, I'm like, Jesus, Dre.
Well, I remember, I think the first time I met you was on a stream with Rodney and Sean, and Warner was on it, and you were doing, I'm gonna say Bucky in the Captain America costume on the sketch cover.
Yeah, I still got
it. Was like an Avengers night or something like that.
Yeah.
And I had the brilliant idea, let me do Ultron. And that was not coming together at all. I ended up using that piece as a palette.
Oh.
Like after that stream, I'm like, there's no salvaging this. It might still be somewhere. Like I was just mixing paint over it. But yeah, because that's what we're talking about, Baywatch Nights.
Yeah.
I can't remember whose idea that was, but
the stuff you're posting now, I mean, and it's and I hate to use the true term better. I really do, just because it's very misleading, but you're seeing.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And it's not better, it's different.
It's becoming more refined. It's becoming more just cleaner. It's becoming Jesus, it's just tough to find the words for this, but it's the draftsmanship's getting a lot better. The color management's becoming a lot better. And you're seeing a lot more experimenting going on. You're seeing a lot more risks taking with media and material. And that's why I think you're justifying, or you're here. You're explaining to me what you were saying, where it was like, if you take a break and then you get back into it, you really do take off like a rocket. The skill level just goes nuts. And like these guys that do this all the time, it's like they're like track and field runners. We're guys who haven't ran for like 10 years, and we get out on the track and we're like, and then but if we keep at it for a couple of weeks, suddenly we're seeing some time getting shaved off of our run, and we're like, oh, that's cool. But these guys are like the Olympic athletes. They never stopped.
So here's my analogy for this, because I was explaining this to someone before, where kind of my take on, because a lot of time I hear I can't draw a stick man.
Oh,
right?
God, yeah, I hate
like that analogy, or that phrase, or I can't draw anything, or all my stuff looks like a 6-year-old drew it. And it's my counter to that is like, if you want to draw, paint, sculpt, bake, blow glass, whatever it is that you want to do, it's just like working out. Sure, there's a certain degree of natural talent that's involved, but all that does, from my point of view, is amplifies your growth rate. So if you start going to the gym 6 hours a day, 7 days a week, lifting weights, treadmill, just working out, you're going to see results, right? Give it a month, you're going to see results, right? I don't care who you are, what your eating habits are. You pumping iron 6 hours a day, you're going to see results. Now, some people may be more genetically inclined to build muscle faster, or they have the, whatever the body type, that they're going to see better results or more results faster. But I think it's the same thing with art. You want to learn how to paint, you want to, whatever it is, you got to start doing it, and you got to put in the time.
Yeah, nonstop. Nonstop.
As much as you can, right? And then that's going to dictate your growth and your evolution.
Yeah.
And that's something that I realized with, again, referencing the masterpieces thing, was like I said, that's I didn't have anything better to do but to be able to spend 4 hours on each piece. And looking back at it now, and that was 2 years ago, I could, from an evolution, like Warner says, or growth, I could produce the same level faster or a higher level of quality or depth or whatever within the same amount of time. Because what I can do, I'm not sitting here blowing myself, but what I can do in 4 hours now versus 2 years ago, I think is significantly different.
Oh, I'm agreeing too. I mean, I go back and see,
and I'm sure it's the same for you as well.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, like I do these print sales, and a lot of these pieces are 12 years old, and I'll I'm looking at them going, this is what I was doing, and this was cutting edge back then for me, and I'm almost embarrassed. I'm just like, geez, look how rough this looks, and look how sad this is. But it's like it's the growth period at that. It's the learning curve at that point. And what I'm kind of doing now an awful lot is taking a lot of those old pieces and not just scrapping them and thinking in terms of thinking of like, well, these were a good start, but with the stuff that I've learned now, with different media and applying color to certain ways and, just being able to, clean up lines a lot better. I've been taking a lot of old pieces and reprinting them or lightboxing them and redrawing them.
No.
And cleaning them up and seeing it's like, okay, and finding this is a great exercise. This is a great way of kind of toning up the art muscles is now being able to apply the stuff I learned from talking to you guys and messing around with media that I was never brave enough to try before, Copic markers or just paint in general. And I'm seeing a lot of improvement just because of that.
Just keep on, like it doesn't end. Right?
No, it doesn't end.
It's never going to end.
The toughest thing is the bad habit I have of still wanting to compare. Like if I'll watch those videos, like Finch's videos, I'm still looking at those like, oh God, why can't I draw like that? It's like, well, because that's David Finch. That answer never crosses my mind. I'm like, I look at that and go, I see a human being doing magic with a pencil, and I'm like, why shouldn't I be able to do that? And not realizing it's like, well, you haven't put the time in that he did, and you haven't, gone through, you haven't done the jobs he's done.
Yeah, that goes back to the time investment, right? Like
exactly.
David Finch probably has, I mean, he's been a full-time artist for how long now? 20 years?
Oh, at least.
Right.
At
Just
least.
do quick math at 40 hours a week.
Yeah. I mean, the last time I saw him live at a show was Baltimore. And that wasn't even the last Baltimore I did because, there was a gap of 12 years. When I went back this year, that was the first time in 12 years. So he was a veteran and a big name, at least 13 or 14 years ago. So
yeah, I think it's more than 20.
Yeah, he's had to have been around for a while.
But yeah, if you do quick math, 40 hours a week, right? Work week.
Yeah.
52 weeks, 20 years, that's 42,000 hours roughly of drawing.
Of nonstop drawing, yeah.
And it's probably more because you're drawing at night and you're drawing on the weekends and whatever. So easy 55,000 hours. So put in 55,000 hours drawing superheroes. See where you're at.
Exactly. And remember, these guys were doing this, for Marvel or for DC. And you've got deadlines like that would just scare most humans. Yeah, I remember I was talking to Mike Diodato, and he was telling me about a cover that he had to do in 3 days. It had to be a finished cover in 3 days, color, everything. And he actually invented a technique that he called Hardened Pencil just to get past this, because this was the 90s, I think. So there wasn't a whole hell of a lot of digital going on at the time. Wacom tablets were very primitive. A lot of stuff was still very traditional media. So what he was doing was he was penciling these pages, and we're talking about a whole comic he was doing this with. He penciled the entire thing using like a lot of black pencil and a lot of harder media so he could get tight lines. And there was no ink involved whatsoever. There was no cleanup on it whatsoever. There wasn't time to do it. So it had to go straight from the pencils to the colorist.
Huh.
And, you know, he had 3 days to do this. So he is pretty much working nonstop 24, cranking out these pages, and they're immaculately clean. That's what's crazy about this. This is pencil. There's no time for, like, you know, send the loose crap in and let the inker fix it. No, he is literally doing this stuff finished with the pencil and ready to go to the colorist. And all the colorist had time to do was just kind of, like, you know, tweak the contrast a little bit and then throw the colors in on it. And dude, this looked fantastic. This stuff was amazing. It really looked like
Mid-Ohio old owners. He was Moon Knight.
Yeah, that's right. He was. That's right. The at Mid-Ohio Con. That's right. Yeah, that's when he was working on Moon Knight. He was a guest there. Finch was, not Diodato.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know what that was in reference.
Sorry, we got switched topics on that. But yeah, I mean, I was just amazed by that, and Diodato's one of those guys too. He's just, you know, he's a freaking wizard. You know, he has a completely different style from Finch too, which is what's pretty impressive. But you know, these guys, you know, they are always working with a gun to their head, and they don't stop. So imagine this. It's like, you know, we're talking about, you know, athletes. Like, yeah, you know, athletes who train and they train constantly, you know, and they get that kind of performance out of it. Well, you know, we're talking like East German or Chinese athletes who not only are Russian athletes, not only are doing this, but, you know, they got, you know, a guy with a Kalashnikov standing there going, you better beat that last time, you know?
Yeah. It's not their, well, it is their livelihood.
It's their existence. It's their family's existence, you know? So, yeah, this is why you can get that kind of skill level. It's like there's no distraction. There is no, let me see what's on Facebook right now. No, there is none of that crap.
Yeah. And I mean, you brought up the comparison thing, and it's hard. And it's hard not to look at stuff and be like, oh, man, why can't I do that? And I think that's something that everyone goes through. And I'm sure it goes like people, like I'm sure David Finch looks at some things and he's like, man, I wish I could do that. And Jim Lee, and, you know, take your pick. Well, I think you just need to know where you are. And I think for most people, as long as you understand or come to terms with the fact that you can get there, it's just not going to happen overnight. Yeah. Right?
And most importantly, it's not going to be anything like these guys you're sitting there wishing you could be. You know, your skills are very unique. You know, as you said, you know, there's like this innate talent, and that kind of is the foundation for everything. You know, you're going to put the time in and the work in it, and that's going to kind of shape it. But, you know, there's going to be this germ that starts the whole thing off. You know,
it's the drive to do it.
Yeah, you and I are never going to be David Finch. Even if we ever train to draw like him, we're never going to be him, because along the line, you know, the way we think, the way we see things, you know, our experience, we're going to be adding things that, you know, weren't in his life. You know, we're going to think in terms of like, oh, let's try, you know, let's experiment with this, which he may have never thought of.
Yep.
And or you know, we're going to be limited by, you know, in my case, you know, like I have a hard time seeing a lot of color. So, you know, I very limited like palettes that I can work with. So
are you colorblind?
Yeah, to a degree.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
And not a lot of people do. I kind of keep it quiet because
well, you know, like
bad for business.
1,400 viewers just found out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by 1,400 I mean Warner, and I think I might have it open in another tab as well.
Yeah. See, I knew I was safe, dude. Yeah. I knew I was safe. And I think Warner already knew. I think we already had this conversation.
Yeah.
No, I mean, actually, in all reality, I mean, I'm fairly. I say I kind of keep it quiet, but I'm not hiding it. I mean, it's greens and browns I have a real hard time with.
Oh, which makes that She-Hulk even more impressive.
Well, to me, it looked, it might just be a case of like the story I heard about Monet, which I still to this day laugh my butt off. Um, you familiar with Claude Monet's painting of the cathedrals that he did at the different times of day?
Yeah.
Okay, and I was like, he had this really rough impressionistic style, and the
Is it Monet or
cathedrals,
Monet?
Monet, the water lily guy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right. Um, so he painted these cathedrals at different times of day, and it was almost like the definition of impressionistic painting. I mean, it's like blurry, it's just blobs of color, and it just hints at like sundown or dawn light or direct light in the afternoon. It's just hinting at it, but you can see the cathedral. You're looking at it going, oh, okay, it's a cathedral, but as far as detail goes, there ain't it. And everybody's like, oh, how brilliant this is, and wow, the vision to be able to do this. Well, the story comes out, Monet was nearly blind when he painted this.
Oh, so that's
So the funny thing is, and I've said this before, it's like, okay, if you find yourself a copy of the cathedrals, look at this picture. Now squint your eyes like your freaking eyesight's about gone.
there you go.
And suddenly it's like, oh, okay, it clears up. And I said, I laugh about that going, I think, I mean, I don't want to say nothing. I don't know one way or another. I don't want to freaking one of the impressionistic masters, but it suddenly starts to make sense where, he took a limitation and he sort of made art with it. He was just like,
that's the definition of draw what you see.
Yeah, literally.
Literally, I can't see shit. I'm just gonna draw a bunch of blobs. There you go.
It's all blurry and shit,
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. So I guess the biggest sin, if you want to do art, is don't be lazy. That seems to be the one thing that really trips people up. You got to be, obsessed with this shit. It's not, this isn't a job. This is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And those guys, the masters. Oh boy, you want to talk about obsessed? They these guys died with paintbrushes in their hands, and we're talking like in their 90s and 100s.
Like if you look at the modern, like really modern masters, like Boris, Julie, right? Like Boris is, I don't know how old he is, but he's 80
at least, 90? Yeah.
Like he's got, or Greg Hildebrand, right? He's 80 something.
Yeah.
He's going, and he said, like, if you watch his streams when he does them, he said, I'm gonna do this until I can't. He's still full of piss and vinegar. I love watching him paint. Yeah, and he's just so like, I'm just gonna take a little paint to the kind of Bob Rossi, right? It's a little happy accident. I'm just gonna mix a little bit of the burnt sienna here and the blob. Yeah, there we go. That's good.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. You're like, what the hell, man? Yeah,
like, seriously, dude, knock it off.
Oh, that guy. Oh, wow. Now you want to talk about, taking the lessons of the Impressionists and running with it. That guy knows light and color like nobody else I know.
Oh, yeah.
But again, we're talking about differences. Let's compare Boris and Greg Hildebrand. They are by no means alike in their styles.
Oh no, totally different. But actually, where I was going with Boris and Julie, I mean, Boris is getting old, and he's not. I mean, he is old, and he's not producing that much. But Julie seems to be quite active still. I mean, she's younger. And if you see some of the stuff that she's doing now,
oh yeah,
I've been following. And did you see that thing with the wolves a couple of weeks ago?
Yes,
I thought it was a photograph.
Yes,
and I'm like, this is just insane. And I love her older stuff, her sci-fi stuff, and it's really cool and sexy, and the way they rendered everything. But I'm looking at that wolf thing. I'm like, this is like this is something else. And it's not just photo reproduction, which there's there's a bunch of people that can do it, and really all it is, it's spending the time and the attention to detail. It's you can tell that it's her work, even though it's so hyper realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can tell this is Julie's wolf.
Yeah, and she's, I noticed too. It's like there's still some elements of the way she painted, when she first broke out. When she was, pretty much doing the same thing Boris was doing.
Yeah.
And you could see the tutoring right there. You could see Boris, really working with her and going, okay, this is how I do this. This is how I do this. And you can see her being the apt student and really running with it. But
Because you can see when she broke out of the, let me call it the Boris school of painting, right? You can see at which point she was learning the technique and at what point she started making it her own.
Yeah, that's when I really started following her. I mean, I liked her work before. Now I'm a fan. I follow her on Instagram, and yeah, you're right. I mean, she posts stuff that, she did one. It was this woman riding a horse, and it was like through fire. And I remember I was just standing there looking at this thing like, how did you do this? And the detail was just immaculate. But yeah, as you said, there's guys that put a lot of detail in because they sit there and study it and they make it mechanical. They're like, it's in the photo, so therefore I'll put it in. Not her. She is in love with the details of the images that she does. And just it's like, she takes this rendering that she learned from Boris and just applies it to every single element now. Where Boris will, he's very task oriented. He's like, okay, render the body, make it look like this, composition, get the damn thing done, make it look good, And though he does have his very stylized way, you don't really see that unless you're looking at like a lot of his watercolor prelims or his color mock-ups. When he actually gets down to doing the final piece, he's really kind of going down to the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
But her, she's really blown up, man. I mean, she's got to be one of the best painters I've seen nowadays. She's up there with these guys that are, just doing amazing realism and landscapes, and the real good fine artists you're seeing like in studios nowadays that are doing high-end illustration. Oh yeah, she dusts them.
Oh yeah, I mean she's a legend at this point. I mean,
yeah,
not that she wasn't before, and
yeah.
And Warner's also colorblind, by the way.
I'm sitting there trying to remember if he told me that before.
He's not hiding it.
No,
I mean, it's painfully obvious.
Does he hide? Oh, dear Lord.
That was too easy.
Yes, it was. Oh, come on, Josh. Fight back. Fight back.
Aren't you glad you didn't hop on the stream? Could have defended yourself.
Oh, my God.
Did I show you my Palumbo commission?
Let me see it real quick. Being reminded here by the dogs, I'm going to have to get going here pretty soon.
Yeah, let's hop on for a quick hour. It's turning into a 2-hour event.
Yeah.
I really need to go home and eat some lunch. And I love Dave's work. And he's just...
You see it. Oh, sweet Jesus. Yeah.
5x7 oil on masonite. And,
yeah.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Gotta ask. Can you share how much was that?
No.
All right. I won't ask them. I won't ask that.
And I asked for it blind.
Wow.
All right. I want Venom. Go nuts.
And you got to do it that way. I'm sorry. When you're asking these guys for stuff like that, you don't want to sit there and nickel and dime. It's just like there's no point in that shit.
The thing is, it's not about nickel and diming, right? Like it's not. It's still bragging about the commission. Sure, I'm Warner. It's not nickel and diming. Like if I'm gonna reach out to an artist and it's because I like their work,
Yeah.
I like their style. Like, if I reach out to you and I say I want you to do this and this, but I want it to look like Jim Lee did it, you know what I mean? Like, just go get Jim Lee to do it. Probably can't afford it, but you know what I mean?
Oh, I've had conversations like this with guys, trying to line up commissions, and they'll say things like, even with characters, somebody will say, can you do a, like a Warner Brothers character, or SpongeBob or something like that? Can you do it for my kids? I'm like, yeah, but why do you want me to do it? It's there's 100 other cartoonists here. There's girls drawing anime that would do it a lot better than me. And yet, I also get hit up with stuff like, people say, well, can you do something like Jim Lee, or can you do, like a John Romita piece? And I'm like, no. That's.
See, I won't say no. Like, I have no problem doing a reproduction. Like, I have no issue with that. It's not my first choice. But if somebody wants him, like, sure, if that's what you want, right? But
I won't do it. I did it once. Actually, not once, a couple of times, but I'm never going to do it again. And Addy Granoff was one of them. I had a guy who collected reproductions of certain stuff, McCone stuff, Addy Granoff. He liked that kind of thing, and it didn't hit me until well into the project that what he was trying to do was save money. He wanted these kind of pieces, but he wanted somebody to reproduce them and not pay the premium for it.
Right.
And I started getting. I honestly, God, I felt dirty. I did a couple of these pieces, and what I was doing was I started like throwing.
Now, are you talking like stroke for stroke reproductions?
Pretty much.
Okay, no, that's no.
Well, this is what he wanted. He was like, just reproduce it as much as you can. And in the case of like Granoff or Cohen, my style didn't really argue with that too much. It was like very highly rendered. Just kind of going with that, lots of scumbling, that sort of thing. And I was able to do it. But I got to a point where I'm working on this going, at what point does this become my piece and not just a freaking, fraud? And I started.
Did you sign it?
Well, yeah. But I started adding stuff to it to make it mine. I changed backgrounds, or I threw detail into it. And just anything that I could think of, because the guy was very specific. He's like, I want this. This is what I want. This is what you're doing. And I just kind of felt like I don't want to do that. And it got to the point where, I flat out told him, no more of these. I will, I will do my own stuff. But and it was even to the point where it's like, if you want my stuff, then you have to deal with my ideas, my compositions, my layouts. I can't copy this kind of crap and then redo it for you. I can't do it. And I still this day I feel crappy about it. Because I'll see the pieces come up in auctions and stuff. It's like, yeah, J5 did this. And I'm like, no, don't use my name.
Yeah, see, like I'll do reproductions. I'll always like, not that I can't, like I probably can do a stroke for stroke, like really tight recreation, but I'll make it my own.
Yeah, but that's just it. It's like, when I say it's not really stroke for stroke. I mean, I wasn't like, trying to do a replica. It was, pretty much borrowing the guy's design and the guy's subject matter and, his compositions and everything, the basic foundations, not like I was doing with Gordon with the reference pieces, because with his, I was just taking a framework and really turning it around, modifying it. And I think that's
Yeah.
completely different. But this was, draw Eddie Granoff. And no, if I'm going to do that, it's going to sit in a portfolio book that no one else is going to see, and it's going to be an exercise.
Master
It's not.
studies.
Yeah, it's not going to be a finished piece from now on, because I felt like horrible about it, and I actually caught some heat from Dem Cone for that, because the one piece that I did, that one Hulk piece I did that this guy wanted. I got a couple of terse emails from him. I mean, it wasn't like, cease and desist or nothing. It was just like,
Not cool.
dude, that ain't cool. And I really felt bad, because I was like, I knew that going into it. And even with the changes I made, I wanted to say, look, I kind of made it my own, and I'm doing this, just for love of the stuff that you do. But, that wasn't coming across. It was like, no, dude, you just pretty much copied his piece. So what if you put a few details into it? It's still his piece.
Yeah, it's a good debate, right?
Yeah. And really, the answer to it is always going to be, how do you feel about it? There's guys I know that will do it in a heartbeat.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's not that they're bad people. It's just, consider the circumstance. And honestly, why I did it, I needed the money. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, you get paid to do a job, and you do it, and that's it, right? It just, it kind of said it's a bigger debate than we could have on another stream, because
seriously,
I got 2 hours in. But I'll tell you, and Warner knows this very well, my biggest pet peeve, is when people do that and don't cite the source. I hate it.
Well, that's larceny. It's just outright larceny.
Just hate it.
Yeah, that's larceny. And on that note, actually, the dog is sitting here reminding me that he is moments away from making a huge mess. If he hasn't done it already.
Yeah. It's like, oh, wait till you see what I have for you.
I think I smell it already. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to call this done, too.
Loving the gore, man. Loving it.
Thank you. That looks so good. That's so smooth.
It's looking sweet. I love it. And wait till that movie comes out, man.
Oh, no, I was talking about your Batwoman. It's just so smooth.
Not really. It's got some
roughness
to it.
Part. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, you hearing this? That's there he is right there.
Oh. Human, I pooped in your shoes.
Dad, I gotta go. All right, dude. Thank you very much. I am going to cut out of here.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go too. Let this dry and then move on to something else.
Thanks
awesome,
again.
everyone. Thanks for hopping on. Everyone that tuned in. Warner, I think, is the only one that's still watching. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time, hopefully Friday afternoon.
Okay. Cool.
Later, man.
Later. Bye.